We don't have much time left, but I do want to get to the UN vote. I love that soundbite we played up at the top of the show from Ambassador Nikki Haley. In fact, if we can get that ready and play it again. As we all know, the UN today approved a resolution condemning the United States' decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. The vote came down with 9 agreeing with the United States. You had 35 nations abstaining, and you had 128 countries that voted against us, okay? Nikki Haley is not a lady who minces words. I don't even know if I agree with her all the time, but I starting to really like this lady. Go for it. Let's hear the sound.
We will remember it when we are called upon to once again make the world's largest contribution to the United Nations. And we will remember it when so many countries come calling on us, as they so often do, to pay even more and to use our influence for their benefit.
All right, Michael. What's your reaction to that?
My reaction is listen to Nikki Haley. I mean, listen, I was in talk radio for 26 years. Talk radio has been talking about this for a long time. Why we fund the United Nations at the level that we fund the United Nations is outrageous, because basically every country, except for Israel, in fact, votes against us every time they get a chance. The only reason the UN exists is so those people can come to New York and buy their hookers and have their dinners and not pay their parking tickets when they come to New York. That's all they come to New York for, is booze, sex, and parking tickets.
Scott, you look here. What do you think?
That's a subtle opinion. I think the reality, though, is when you talk about, it's been a big deal on talk radio, when the UN does something like this today and they vote so overwhelmingly against the United States, a lot of Americans, a lot more Americans tonight will be thinking that's something we can do without. It is this kind of action that creates that attitude against the UN in this country.
If I could jump in for a moment. Yeah. Well, I was in the room, my dad called in and approved the going to Libya and all these other things. And I don't remember him, when he approved all that, hanging up the phone and calling the United Nations to ask permission to be president of the United States. It's nice to have a president. I may not agree with him all the time, but it's nice to have a president who is the president of the United States and doesn't get that permission from somebody at the UN.